My name is Rick Rodriguez, and today I want to talk to you about resumes. I've had 22 years of experience in education. I've served as a teacher, an assistant principal, a principal, an executive director, and currently assistant superintendent for human resources for the Lubbock Independent School District. So what's important on a resume? I'm going to take a few minutes to talk to you about some opinions that I have in regards to resumes. Many things that you need to consider are: what font are you going to use in regards to your resume? Staying away from frilly and hard to read fonts is very important. Administrators are going to be looking for quick information that they can secure from your resume. If they have to try to figure out what the font says in order to see what your resume has, they're not going to take the time to do that. So make sure you use a very common font, simply like Times Roman. It's a very common font, it's very easy to read. The size of the font is also important. Don't try to make the font so large to make it look like your resume fills the entire page. And also, don't try to make it so small that it's difficult to read. Using bold fonts as well as bulleted fonts makes a resume very easy to read. What information should you include in a resume? Because you're coming into the profession, you may not have a lot of activities or a lot of experiences that may lend themselves to make a resume look full and rich. However, any experience that's related to children in any kind of way, for example, if you volunteer at your church, that's very good information to include on your resume. You might have done some other volunteer work with the Boys Club or the Girls Club or the YWCA. Certainly those types of activities would be important for you to include in your resume. Don't over-exaggerate those positions that you volunteered in. Simply state that you volunteered and the key things that you did as they relate to the position that you held. Principals and administrators don't like to be misled when they can see that you simply were a volunteer that helped supervise children, but the data that you put in the resume seems like you were the director. So don't over-exaggerate on the information that you include in your resume. Making sure that your resume is clean and neat and concise is very important. Nowadays, many school districts that you'll apply to have their applications online. You'll be provided the opportunity to upload your resume into that particular website. Make sure that your resume is formatted appropriately for that particular website. A simple call to the Human Resources Department will allow you to ascertain whether or not that resume, the way you have it saved, the type of format, fits with the type of format that will be viewed from the online application. Another additional piece that is not quite part of the resume is called the letter of interest. That's the opportunity for you to give a narrative about what you have done and what strengths you bring to the table. Many principals like to have a narrative, otherwise known again as the letter of intent. This allows them to check your writing skills. So please make sure to not take this. If you're going to submit one, don't take it lightly. Make sure that it's done well. Make sure that it's written precisely. Have several people look at it. Make sure that there are no grammatical errors in that letter of intent. Also, if you're applying for several school districts, don't make the fatal error of not changing the name of the school district that you're applying to as you're applying to several school districts. Now, do principals or do administrators really look at each of the resumes and letters of interest? To be honest with you, the answer to that is no. Not every single one of them does. But you don't want to take the risk of haphazardly putting together a resume and letter of interest, and the job that you actually want be the principal that takes that particular part of your application very seriously. So don't do this haphazardly. Now, principals really like to get the opportunity to get to know you as much as they can through this process. This very well may be the deciding factor of whether or not you get selected to be interviewed. So many times principals will use the resume, and it's a feel. It is absolutely a feel. If that resume makes them feel like they want to talk to you, then they're going to call you for an interview. So again, wrapping up, this is your opportunity to sell yourself first before you get the interview. Make sure that you take it seriously and make sure that you do it well. Check with any other professionals that are already in the profession or even in human resources to see if they can be of assistance for you, and they might even give you a little feedback as well. I wish you the best, and I congratulate you on your choice to go into the most important profession in the world. And of course, that's education. Good luck.